the beginning of the story, it is shown that a virus has spread throughout the world, killing all the people on the planet years earlier than scientists had expected. Then a man named Philip is seen. He thinks that he is the only one alive because he does not see anyone around. For the past year, he has been wandering around and has not found a single human being anywhere in the world. Yet he keeps traveling all over America, wondering if anyone is still alive. That is why he takes a truck and travels to different cities across America. He even puts a microphone on the truck and makes announcements. However, it turns out that he steals expensive paintings and valuable things from all over the place and takes them to his house. For the past year, he has not found a single human being in the whole of America. Not finding anyone, he decides to return to his hometown, Tucson, but on the way back, he leaves a billboard on the road saying, "The reason for this is that if anyone is alive, they should find Philip." Then Philip returns to his home and packs his belongings. He takes the truck and drives to a luxurious house. He starts decorating the house according to his liking. For a while, he decorates the house beautifully with various expensive and famous paintings, trophies, and other valuable things. Philip finishes all his work and goes to sleep in a large room at night. Before going to sleep, he apologizes to his superior for his actions and wishes that he could see at least one beautiful girl before he dies. Since Philip is now living alone, he has become the owner of all the cars in America. Philip now drives around wherever he wants in those cars. Due to the lack of people, Philip is seen coming to a store in his underwear to buy groceries. He even shoots and breaks the door of the store instead of opening it. Day by day, he becomes more and more chaotic and mischievous. Since no one is watching him, he no longer feels ashamed or afraid. He starts doing whatever he pleases. The things he was ashamed or afraid to do before, he now does for fun. For example, he starts destroying storybooks for no reason. He enjoys watching the many adult films that are there. He also uses many table lamps to play with. He starts throwing balls at them and breaking them. He even starts crashing a car into one of them and destroying it. Philip enjoys doing all this and spends his time alone like this. In this way, another 6 months pass. Because of this, he starts losing his mental balance day by day. On Philip's birthday, he cuts the cake alone. That is when everything from his old days flashes before his eyes, when everything was normal. He had his whole family around him, but Philip did not value them. Now, after losing them, he realizes their importance. Then another 5 months pass. It is seen that Philip has turned the entire house into a dustbin. The entire house is filled with plastic cans and bottles. From what can be seen, it is clear that he has only been making things dirty for a long time. He does not throw any of it away. Because he has no one to look after him, he does all this without caring. He thinks that if this house is destroyed, he will move to another house. He has even stopped taking baths now. Moreover, since there is no one there is no shortage of drinking water. So he starts using water cans to urinate. Then he cuts a springboard and sets it up with a pool, and he makes arrangements to urinate there. Then it is seen that he makes a small pool and fills it with alcohol. He lies in that pool, bathes in it, and drinks from it. So that he does not get confused, he separates the two, so that he can use one for flushing the toilet and the other for drinking water. Then one day, Philip goes to a bar and paints faces on the balls there. He gives each ball a different name and makes them his friends, and starts talking to them like a madman. He does this to keep himself entertained so that he will not feel lonely. After leaving there, he comes across a dress shop, and there he goes inside. He brings his friends with him to the shop and tells them that a doll there is his crush. Then he writes a love letter to the doll. He proposes to her. But when he goes to hold the doll's hand, it is seen that the doll's hand comes off. Seeing this, Philip becomes upset. He does not want to live anymore, because his only crush has been broken by the doll's hand. He comes to a mountain to die and writes on a stone, "I was the last man on earth, but now I will die too." Philip has brought his ball friends with him, so he says goodbye to them. He says, "I will never forget you." Saying this, he gets into the car and drives toward the bank at full speed. That is, he is going to commit suicide. But at some point, he sees black smoke in the distance. So at the last moment, he stops the car and quickly gets out. He notices the smoke and runs toward it and realizes that it is definitely the work of a human being. That means some other human being is still alive. Going forward, he becomes even happier because there are girls' clothes there. He goes crazy with happiness because he wanted to see a beautiful girl before he died. He is so happy to see the girls' clothes that he starts touching them. He even loses consciousness while singing with joy. When he regains consciousness, he sees a beautiful girl in front of him. Her name is Alexandra. As soon as he regains consciousness, he starts kissing her and says that he will do whatever she says. Philip enjoys it a lot, but suddenly he realizes that he has been dreaming all this time. There is no beautiful girl standing in front of him. In fact, the girl is not as beautiful as he had imagined. She is even much older than Philip. But surprisingly, Philip is not happy to see a girl in front of him after such a long time. He steps back and asks, "Where did that beautiful girl in front of me go?" At this, the woman says, "Leave those beautiful girls alone and look at yourself. You peed in your pants as soon as you lost consciousness." Philip argues and says that he did not pee in his pants. He says he was bathing in the swimming pool and that is why this happened. The two start arguing about this. At one point, the woman panics and takes out the gun she has with her and points it at Philip. Philip, unable to find any other way, admits that yes, he peed in his pants and apologizes. After that, the two calm down and introduce themselves. The woman says that her name is Carol. Carol says that after everyone died because of the virus, she traveled all over America. Finally, she saw a billboard saying that there was a person alive in that place, and that is why she came to this address. Carol says that this means Philip is the last person alive on Earth. Hearing this, Philip says yes, he's the only one alive after her. But Philip does not feel any excitement at seeing another person after so long, because he does not like the girl, even though she is beautiful. Then it is seen that Carol, hearing Philip's words, tries to explain something to him. It is as if her English grammar is perfect, but Philip's mentality has changed because he has been alone for so long, so he cannot understand Carol properly. Instead, he keeps talking nonsense. Carol says that now they have to go to a store to buy some food. They both drive toward the city. On the way, Philip drives without obeying the road signs. Seeing this, Carol tells him to obey the signs. Philip says that no other person in the world will drive a car except them, so what is the point of following the rules? But Carol does not agree. She says that they should still obey the rules. This starts another argument between the two. Finally, Philip listens to Carol and stops at a signal and looks around according to the rules. Still, Carol is not satisfied, and she keeps admonishing Philip. Then they come in front of one of the stores. But Philip breaks the rules and parks his car right in front of the store. Seeing this, Carol again starts admonishing him about the rules. This starts a fight between them. Carol's argument is that if someone else comes, where will they stand? Hearing this, Philip's head gets hot. He says that there are a lot of empty spaces in this place and anyone can park there. But Carol says that this does not make it right. She says that he should park his car in the proper place. At one point, Philip cannot control his anger. He drives straight into the store and destroys it. It is clear that the girl is making Philip even more angry. Then, when Carol goes to Philip's house, she is surprised to see the dirty environment. When she looks at the nearby pools, she sees that one of them is being used as a toilet, and the condition of the other is very bad. In addition, when she sees many valuable paintings in Philip's room, she accuses him of being a thief. But Philip directly tells her that no one owns them now, so he cannot be called a thief for bringing them. Philip is upset by all this and tells Carol to go back to where she came from. But it turns out that when Philip wakes up the next day and comes out, he sees Carol cleaning the house like other women. Carol tells Philip to bring some cleaning supplies from the East Room and tells him to at least try to be human from now on. At night, Philip tells his ball friends that his life has become miserable after Carol came. He says that she has only been here for one day, but now she is ordering him around like a married woman. It says, "I have to escape from her. I want a divorce." The next day, Philip wakes up and sees that Carol is living in the house right next to his house, meaning that she is now his neighbor. He tries to get Carol to leave, but Carol is also stubborn and refuses to leave. Carol starts making fun of Philip and says, "Are you afraid that when you change your pants, I will see your naked body?" Hearing this, Philip takes off his pants in front of her to scare her away and says, "See whatever you want to see." Then Carol says, "Have you ever thought about why God kept you and me alive? He could have killed us too. Maybe he wants to create a new generation of the world from us, so we should fill the world again." Hearing this, Philip says, "What do you want?" Carol says, "I want to mate with you and give birth to a child." Philip says that is what he should do. Then Philip clearly says, "Even if you were the last woman in the world, I would not want to have any kind of relationship with you." The next day, when Philip is sitting next to the fountain and using it as a toilet, Carol comes there. She says that the two of them should grow some vegetables together, because they have been living on canned food for so long, and after a few days those will expire. Then what will they eat? But Philip just says no. Then Carol takes out a fresh tomato in front of Philip and starts eating it and proudly says that she has grown tomatoes in her house and asks if he wants to eat. Philip does not react and shows no interest, but it is seen that at night he sneaks into Carol's garden and eats the ripe tomatoes like a madman. In the morning, Carol does not see any tomatoes in the garden and goes straight to Philip and asks if he ate the tomatoes. But Philip says that he did not eat any tomatoes. Then Carol shows him the tomato stains on his clothes. This causes a big fight between the two. Then when Carol is leaving, Philip notices that her leg is bandaged. When he asks about it, he finds out that Carol's leg was injured while fetching water from the manhole. A few days later, Carol slowly starts to feel a little strange when she looks at Philip. She also decides to stop using the toilet like that. Then Philip builds a temporary toilet next to the fountain in their house. Then one day, Carol comes to Philip and says, "Maybe you were right. God did not keep us alive to create a new life. What I thought before was wrong, so now I have no reason to live. What is the point of living next to a neighbor like an animal who could not even fix a washroom in such a big and beautiful house and even uses the swimming pool as a toilet?" These words of Carol make Philip very embarrassed. He goes straight to the city water supply tank and fixes the water supply for Carol's garden. Then he fixes the water lines in the washroom. Carol is very happy with Philip's work and invites him for dinner. At dinner at night, Philip is very happy to eat organic food cooked by Carol, and he enjoys it a lot. There again, Carol talks to Philip about having children for a new generation. Finally, Philip agrees to spend the night with her, but Carol says that they have to get married first, and until they get married, she will not do any of this and is not even thinking about it. Philip starts laughing at this and thinks Carol might be joking, but later he realizes that she is serious. The wedding hassle seems trivial to Philip. Still, to please Carol, he proposes to her like a lover. Then the two plan the wedding together. The next day, they get ready and go to the church. According to the wedding customs, they make promises to each other. Philip does not want to do it and is only acting to please Carol. When they come out after the wedding, Philip sees in his dream that many people are standing in front of him and congratulating contemplating them. He starts thinking about the world. He screams, thinking, why did I marry this girl when there are so many girls alive? But then it turns out that it was only his dream. Then Philip starts wondering if it is really true that there are no more people alive. He decides that he will find out again if anyone is alive. He thinks that if he finds a beautiful girl, then he will not have to marry Carol. In the meantime, Carol brings him food and says to Philip, I wonder what it would be like if you were the president of America. Philip says, who will vote if you are the president? Then he says, you will vote for me, and I will vote for you. Still, he starts imagining himself as the president. Then the wedding day comes. Carol does all the decorations herself and sends Philip to get the wedding rings. But Philip is seen having a bachelor party with all his ball friends and celebrating by lighting a fire. Then Philip goes to the dress shop and says goodbye to the doll. As when Philip arrives at the church, he sees that Carol has decorated it very beautifully and has set up a recorder to keep the memories. But when it is time to exchange the rings, Philip realizes that he has forgotten to bring the rings. This makes Carol very sad. As she says, I did everything for the wedding by myself and you could not even bring 2 rings. It seems you are forcing me to marry you so that you do not have to suffer anymore. I will not force you to marry me. Saying this, Carol leaves crying. Philip realizes that he should not have done that. He quickly goes to Carol's house to apologize. When he does not get any response from inside, he breaks the door with a hammer and enters. When he gets inside, he is surprised to see how beautifully Carol has decorated the house and how she has made a cake with statues of the 2 of them. Seeing all this, Philip becomes very emotional and realizes that Carol has suffered a lot for him. He apologizes to Carol and says, I have started to like you. Even though your personality is strange, I like your cooking. In this empty world, being with you feels good and that makes me very happy. Then he takes Carol to a jewelry shop and has her try on many rings of her choice. Finally, they get married. They spend the night together, although Carol keeps talking about love all night. The next morning, while Philip is playing at home, Carol comes there. Philip is afraid that maybe they will fight again, but Carol starts playing with him instead. They start having fun like normal couples. After a few days, it is seen that Carol has become more restless than Philip. She goes on special runs and has fun by setting things on fire. She even breaks cans with a bulldozer. Then Philip takes her to the crush doll. At first, Carol is normal, but later she starts abusing the doll, asking why she had beaten her husband. Then she breaks the doll and throws it onto the street. That is, along with Philip, Carol has now also lost some mental balance. But Philip is happy with Carol and decides to increase his population. One day, when Philip is going to the store to buy food, he is suddenly hit by a car. He goes toward the car and sees a beautiful girl coming out of it. Philip is shocked and disappointed because he has just gotten married and now such a beautiful girl has appeared in front of him. He does not understand what he should do now because he has adapted himself to Carol with great difficulty. This means that Carol is not the last girl in the world. He looks at the girl in shock and starts cursing his fate. And in this way, the first episode of this movie ends with suspense. Friends, let me know in the comments how you liked today's movie. And those who want to watch the second episode of this movie, please comment. Thank you very much for staying with us till the end.